Hey everybody! Welcome to the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast, a podcast about party games and games take parties. I am your ostensibly master of ceremonies, Bruce, because this, as you can tell by the lack of music, is the mid-month cavalcade. This is the episode that we put out in the middle of the month to play some of the old What the Food and Patreon parties that went to our Patreon backers at patreon.com. If you'd like to hear this stuff early, go to patreon.com/partygamecast. All the details are there, but if you'd like to support the show, it helps us get better microphones and better equipment and food for What the Food and games for the show and all that great stuff. It also might allow us to go to conventions and things like that. As a note for conventions, I do believe we are going to be doing this again. Last year, we did a show called MagFest, the Music and Games Festival. It's just outside of Washington, D.C., and we did a panel called Party Games Are More Than Just Cards Against Humanity. And we did it kind of half as a joke. We were like, hey, we still know party game things. We'll come talk about those party game things with people, and we'll see if anyone cares. And we filled the room up to near standing room only. At times it was standing room only, which is the whole reason we got back to doing this. It reminded us that people want this party game content. So we're doing it again, folks. Once again, we will be doing it at MagFest. Details will be available in the coming months, because I personally, off the top of my head, do not remember when MagFest is. But I've talked to the fine folks at MagFest, and they would like us to do the Party Games panel again. So it's going to be called Party Games Are Still More Than Just Cards Against Humanity. We're going to do a little bit more of a focus on some of the newer party games that have come out. But in that particular panel that we did, we talked about kind of different genres of party games, the game that you might know, and then other games that we would suggest for you. So it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. Me, Rocky, and Brian did it as sort of a live stage show thing, where we actually brought all the games and showed them to people. So we plan to do that again. So we do know that is one convention we will be going to, and with more support on Patreon, possibly more, we hope. One other thing to note, talking about live appearances, if this is the only part of the show you listen to, I want to get this in now. We are doing Extra Life, which is our 24-hour games marathon for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Specifically for us, it is the Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital, but across the country, it's for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We will be doing that on November the 2nd. Saturday, November the 2nd, starting at 10 a.m., going to Sunday, November 3rd at 10 a.m. That'll be at 3 Gear Games at beautiful Savage Mill, Maryland. If you know the area and you knew a place called the Family Game Store, it is essentially the upstairs of what used to be the Family Game Store. I've heard there are rumors we might also have the downstairs, but we'll wait and see. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have the bring and take like we've always had. I'm bringing a bingo machine, because, hey, I have a bingo machine. It's a thing. We'll see if anything happens with that. We're going to do some game show stuff. Rocky and I are kind of working on a project we're trying to put together. We might play test while we're there, which is sort of a live game show version of some games. So if you want to check that out, we will have all the details in the show notes to join our team or to donate through the 24-hour board game marathon that will be Extra Life. And that will be where we'll have most information on the schedule and things like that, which we're putting together even as we speak, which you may think, Bruce, this is very last minute. And yes, it is. That's often how we work. If you're a longtime fan of the show, you know this is ostensibly how we do everything, is just sort of last minute like this. So it's not going to be any different for this, but we're going to have all kinds of fun, all kinds of stuff, bring and take games and games to play and stuff to do and video games and all kinds of stuff there, and we would certainly love to see you if you can make it. If you can't, we'd love to have you join the team. If you can't do either of those, we'd love to have your support. If none of that works for you, if you'd be kind enough to signal boost what we're doing to let other people know, we would certainly appreciate it. We're about to jump in to what was the Patreon August What the Food, where we talk about Turkish delight. We're going to do that in just a second. As a note, I understand that last month, for this mid-month cavalcade, I sounded kind of weird. If that happens again, I'm still trying to figure out how all the new equipment works. Just let me know. We're going to keep working on it, keep trying to make things better. I know that the microphones are better. I know that the mixer is better, but it does not make me better at putting it all together. So please let me know if there are any issues, and you can do that in all the normal places, but I'll direct you at Twitter at PartyGamecast would probably be the easiest way. We also have an Instagram at PartyGamecast. We wouldn't mind seeing you there, although we don't post nearly as much as we should. But I would guess for Extra Life, we'll probably be posting quite a bit, because we're playing games for 24 to 25 hours. So I imagine we'll go there, a few times. So right now, let's jump in to the Patreon What the Food from August. And we'll be back. I'll talk to you on the other side of the show. Hey, Patreon backers. I'm your moderator, Bruce. And this is What the Food!
What the food?
What the Food? Joining me in this episode is Rocky.
Hello.
Mom.
Hi.
Mike.
Hi.
And Brian.
Hey,
Hey, just one Brian this time.
that's all you need.
That is our requirement of Brian to have a show.
Yeah, it's your RDA
also
of
an
Brian.
additional empty microphone.
Yeah, and there is literally just an empty microphone sitting here.
I'm waving at the empty microphone. You can hear that.
Yeah. So, let's begin this with a couple of episodes ago on the main show. We talked about Big Turk.
Ooh,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, what they used to call me in college, Big Turk.
Nope,
No, they didn't.
not at all.
And-
As someone who knew you in college,
Yeah.
that's a complete lie.
Big Turk.
No.
You can't see it, but I'm doing the Ric Flair posing.
No, that was the Buff Bagwell
Yeah,
posing.
no.
Oh,
Whatever it is, it's an inappropriate
It's-
for you.
It's an
For this, it's visually incongruous.
Yes. So we talked about on that episode how much we just, as a group, by and large, really don't like Turkish Delight.
So,
You know.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Rocky, I feel like it'd be best for you to explain what's going on here.
so let's just say someone involved in our lives.
Are we not allowed to say your mother?
Well, I don't know if she wanted
your
to be.
mother.
I didn't know if she wanted to
Yeah.
be called out on air like that.
We've
I
mentioned
think she
her-
probably does.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
So,
been on the show once.
My mother
kinda.
loves Turkish Delight. Like, loves it.
Really?
Was personally affronted by the fact that we didn't like it, and what we were eating was not real Turkish Delight.
Which I think is fair.
That-
It was
that's
not real
valid.
Turkish
Yeah, it
Delight.
was
I
not.
think it was the big turd.
It was the Big
It was
Turk.
Turkish Delight themed candy bar.
Yes, so she insists that if we have real Turkish Delight, that we will like it. She actually has a Turkish market. She has an actual real Turkish market near her in Lakeland, Florida, and went there and picked up a big box of Turkish Delight for us.
How bizarre.
Oh, that hurt a little.
I was trying not to interrupt, but I needed to get that in there.
Anyway, so we have a big box of Turkish Delight. It is Yenegun 1914 brand, I think.
I think it's probably probably established 1914.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
That is a heck of a time to establish a company in Turkey.
right.
Was something going on there then?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Why'd you ask?
Yeah. So they kind of look like little sushi rolls with coconut around the outside.
Yeah, they look like candy sushi.
Yeah,
kinda.
and they're
Please tell me
all.
there's not actual coconut on them.
Please don't spill them
No,
all
it's
on the floor
powdered
either.
sugar.
No, it's coconut. Like the
Oh.
ingredients list has coconut.
Oh, well, then it's all you.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't coconut?
No.
Probably cannot.
I
Or just does not.
I will not.
That's probably not a good choice then. Yeah, and they're all a variety of colors, but only
Bruce recoiled when
Gently.
he opened the package.
because they're covered in like white powder. So that
Yeah, they
the
are.
We're
color
gonna-
difference is very subtle.
We're going to say it's sugar?
That seems fair.
I would
Yeah.
like to take a moment to read you the back of this box.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
how are
you
we
you
going to
speak
know what we're
Turkish?
eating?
Yeah.
So interesting fact, there is a Turkish section. There's also an English section. That probably makes as much sense as if I read the Turkish out loud.
I was about to say, is there an English section?
I
Is
can
there?
s- I can smell them across the table.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
just like,
trying not
smells
to.
like sugar and fruit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
How
And they-
can you, sugar and fruit?
I don't know, because I know what they are. And it looks like they have like a weird thing of marshmallow in the middle. Like there's a white thing in the middle of every one.
Yeah,
That-
and if you take
that
a
might
look,
be that's like that's artificial fruit, kind of like the artificial crab.
That
in,
is the
in a-
delight.
Oh,
Yeah, it could be.
All right, so
That's the soul.
I hope you're all ready for this.
dun 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 dun. Sorry.
It's okay. Osmanlica delight, derived from the word comfortable ul hulkim, is rumored that relaxes the throat. 15. Century, known in Anatolia since the 17th century, within the borders of the Ottoman Empire, widespread delight. A British traveler in Europe threw out the, quote, Turkish delight name. 18th century began to gain recognition. Previously, the delight of honey or molasses and flour with a combination of 17th century bounty sugar known as, quotes, the construction of refined sugar and flavor with the introduction of the country, especially in the presence of starch, has been changed.
Verbatim off the back of the box. We did not.
Oh,
She even
Thanks,
represented
Google.
the punctuation
I had
correctly.
to focus very hard.
I have
Even
so
then.
many questions.
I feel like that went from Turkish to several other languages and then got to English via Google Translate.
I feel like the person that wrote it in Turkish probably was not very literate to begin with.
Well, yeah, if you look at like the one where she just said 15, it's because there's a sentence that starts with a 1, 5, and then a period.
Yes.
And that's in the Turkish version. So it's not a mistranslate. I don't know what that was supposed to be, but I'm betting in Turkish that's not right either.
No.
There were several of those.
Is there any
yes.
possibility that in Turkish the th is just a period?
Well, there's other places where it says like 18th or 17th century, but then other times it says 18th century. And I think the Turkish looks that way
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
So they refer to centuries as sometimes the somethingth and
Yeah.
sometimes number century.
Okay.
It looks like in Turkish all the numbers have the period after it,
Okay.
but not in the English.
So one of them came over to the English for
Yes.
15.
15.
End of sentence.
Yes. I could have been like a Siri and just said 1, 5. So yeah. Also, I know I'm old because I said, like a Siri.
like
Like
the
a
Siri.
Siri.
Like the Siri.
Yes. All right. I'm trying to stall so I don't have to put one of these in my mouth.
Okay, so I'm going to take, they're just colors.
I'm not going to take a red or a pink.
I'm going to take yellow.
Okay. Maybe I'll go green.
Oh. What's weird is there's like a strange smell to it that is almost
Oh.
like, I don't know if I would say it's almost like a liquor or like a perfume or like a
It's
rose?
probably, according to the ingredients, it's probably the soapwort juice.
it might be the soapwort juice. That could be what's doing it.
I know what all these other things are.
You okay, Mom?
I don't know
I'm
what
trying to decide
soapwort
what
is.
The colors are. You think that's the same as that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So good luck, ma'am.
So what we're trying to do is just figure out what they might be.
So that way no one eats a rose.
Okay.
Should I
This one.
should I give away some of the surprise and tell what some of the possible flavors are?
Ooh,
Or do
that
we just
smells
want
like
to totally
soap.
blind?
Let's go as blind as we can, and we will
Okay.
try to figure out how close to flavors we got. Now, each one of us has, in all good theory, picked
Oh.
out a different... Yeah, I know.
You can smell the rose.
Yeah,
It
you
is
can.
flowery
can.
soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate rose.
The white thing in the
Yeah.
middle seems to be squishier than the rest.
Okay, so
I'm not getting
Alright.
the coconut from the outside at all.
I'm gonna pick
And
a
I will
color
tell
no one
you-
else has.
If you're listening to this on Patreon, if you take a look, I probably took a picture of this and put it as like the identifier for this episode. If you're listening to it a month and a half later when it comes out on the main feed, if you take a look at the podcast like picture that we put up that's the label, you're going to take a look. You're going to be able to see a picture of this in there somewhere along with whatever game we combine with it.
All right, so what colors do we have?
I have yellow.
I have green.
Orangish.
I also have a yellow.
Okay, so Brian and I are working on the same thing here. Let's.
There
Ready?
might be two yellow flavors.
Oh wow. So,
Well, I know what my yellow flavor is.
what's your yellow flavor?
Banana.
Okay, that's exactly
Oh.
what I thought this was banana.
It even has a texture of kind of banana when you bite into it.
Yeah. I don't hate this.
It's not awful.
No.
Mom might.
Mom's probably isn't banana flavored.
No.
No.
What's yours?
Baby shampoo.
Mom? God, I have so many questions.
It's okay.
Let's start with how often do you drink baby shampoo? Or more accurately, how many shampoos have you tried that you can identify baby shampoo from other shampoo?
Well, I have 10 grandchildren and 4 children, and at some time during all those baths, I have had shampoo and bubbles shoved at me in all directions. So I
Okay.
can tell you that this tastes like baby shampoo.
That is a very fair response.
So Mom got the rose, is what we're saying.
Maybe.
And the center does not help.
The center is just marshmallow, I think.
Yeah.
So are
It's
you
like
getting
marshmallow fluff.
coconut?
No.
No.
All right, well, I'll try one of the ones that no one's tried then. Let's see, what
There's
what
a
flavor?
line of ones like here.
Yeah,
here,
those,
Okay.
those dark red. Yeah, that one is maybe a flavor no one's
I
had. It
think-
might also be. There's either 4 or 5 flavors depending on
Could
the ingredient
I
list.
would like to try a banana one.
The yellow ones.
The yellow
are-
ones are banana.
There's
Okay.
also lemon is an option, but I think that's just a background citrus flavor in some of them.
Yeah.
Green was
Just to
apple,
see.
maybe? Is that an ingredient?
Kiwi is the greenish thing in the choices here.
Or maybe it was kiwi?
So yeah, the natural flavors that are the aromas that are listed are vanilla, rose, orange, lemon, kiwi, banana, and cacao.
This is
and I'm-
rose.
Guessing.
Oh.
I'm
Oh.
eating topiary.
Oh,
Is the dark red ones a
So that's
rose?
the traditional
This is
flavor.
like brownish, but
Yeah, but there's ones that are like lighter orange.
do we have
yours is
any?
the-
Are there any more
Okay.
flavors no one's tried? Because I didn't hate what I had. I didn't hate banana.
Banana's much better
So-
than the brown.
I ate the green from the middle. There's some at the end.
Give me a green from the end. Let's see what we've got here.
I don't know, but it still tastes like vaguely flowery, even though it was fruity.
Yeah, I definitely get like a floral taste, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't flat out put it on rose, although it probably is. But I didn't hate the Big Turk, to be honest, and I don't hate this either.
this is pure flour. Like this is definitely you're just eating a piece of shrubbery.
What? You had the green one, this green one in the middle?
Yeah. It's good.
What flavor is in my mouth?
I don't know. It's just vaguely fruity. That's why I thought maybe it's the kiwi then. If it's
I was about to
just
say,
confusing.
No,
Once
it's-
you told me it could be kiwi, I can taste that it's kiwi, but I probably would have guessed apple as
yeah.
well.
No, this is it's something.
You're-
Oh, Mike has got the vapors. Oh my word.
oh,
My lord.
Oh my word.
Oh, what is that? It's kind of kiwi. Is yours the same thing?
I think it is. It's kind of just generically fruity. Once you put kiwi in my head, I can taste that it's kiwi.
But it's also got that kind of bite of like a green apple.
Yeah. I would have guessed green apple if you had not told me kiwi.
but it's also like perfumey floral.
Agreed.
Well, I think they all probably have some amount of rose water in them because
Yeah.
Turkish Delight just does.
I kind of want to see how bad the rose
Oh,
one
you wanna
is. Is
taste
that
this?
weird?
Go for it.
No.
Baby
I'll take the
shampoo?
other half of it.
Definitely. You want to taste this?
Okay.
Sure.
Baby shampoo?
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, it's totally that one. You can smell it. Oh.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
Mom's
Bruce,
handing me some of her baby shampoo.
Bruce,
flavored
eat the
one.
baby shampoo. I'm stalling again.
Oh yeah, that is exactly what that is. Yeah, there's no denying that is baby shampoo flavor.
Oh
Yeah,
no, that's awful. What do you think it's supposed to be?
that's got to be. That's definitely a flower. I think it's got to be rose.
I don't know.
I mean, according to the package, I have no idea.
According to the
Yeah,
package,
I'll be
Turkish,
honest, Mom.
Turkish,
I would
Turkish.
not
Orange
have
is an
thought
option.
baby shampoo specifically. You put that in my head, but like definitely tastes like a hotel soap. Like definitely.
One of those
It is
fancy
super
scented soaps.
flowery.
No, you know, like when you're, when you're in like a mediocre hotel, like a La Quinta.
There you go.
Oh, I
Yeah.
ate too much. Oh, what have I done?
Why is everyone just handing them to me like,
You
oh,
said you
Bruce,
finished the other half. I think it's the same color.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
Does it taste like hotel soap?
Yeah, it really. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You can smell it through the podcast. Hold on.
Yeah.
So there's really only 3 flavors
And I'm
in here.
sorry.
There's kiwi, there's hotel soap, there's banana.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of orangey red ones that are separated, but everyone seems to be having the same reaction no matter where they pull from.
Well,
So I'm going to join in.
yes, well, you should.
Oh
guess-
yeah.
Oh,
Get in on this soap.
as I said last time we discussed Turkish Delight, I
Yeah.
hate roses. I'm allergic
Oh.
to them. They make me sneeze. Not die, but like they make me sneeze.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I can't go near perfume counters.
Yeah.
Is because I just stopped being able to breathe properly
Well,
because
good
of
news.
all the rose.
This kind of smells like a perfume counter, and
Yeah.
so
It
will
does.
you.
Yeah, my breath is going to be. I got coffee and donut to get rid of this.
Oh, my word.
I'm just going to have the middle by itself.
Oh, feel free. How is the middle by itself, actually?
Well, Mom loves marshmallow, so
But I don't know that that's exactly what this is.
This tastes like cheap perfume.
Doesn't it?
yep.
Like, to me, it's specifically...
I wouldn't say baby soap. I say cheap perfume. Like it
Okay.
tastes like. I can see where you get baby soap, but it tastes like cheap rose like the kind that your great grandparents wore that was terrible.
It feels like a weird commercial where
Oh.
when I exhale, flower petals come out.
Or like, if you were a child in, say, the 80s, do you remember those little soaps that were like shaped like
Yes.
seashells or
Yes.
flowers?
That is literally what I'm thinking of. That is,
Yes.
yeah, you nailed it, Mike.
Don't drink coffee with that. I thought the coffee would wipe it out, and they just their bitterness combined into.
This,
Ugh.
yeah, the
It tastes like
center's
I'm
good.
eating.
Is the center good?
Yes, the center's tasty
Okay.
by itself.
Do we have any idea what it is? Maybe it's a
It's
vanilla
like-
something.
It's like a marshmallowy kind of thing,
Okay.
and it's good.
Now it tastes like dishwasher detergent in my mouth.
Yeah.
It went from unpleasant rose to dishwasher detergent.
Don't eat dishwasher detergent. It's
It
not-
tastes like Tide Pod.
Oh, nice. That means we're going
Oh.
to be hot.
It's the challenge.
Yeah,
This
good
is the
work.
Turkish Delight Challenge.
Ladies and gentlemen, you found the moment when we finally became part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah, this is like
This is
that's like a
6
year or
years
two
ago.
out.
A year. Tide
No,
Pods
it's
were
Tide Pods were
2
years
years.
ago.
Tide Pods were 5 years ago,
Yeah.
probably.
I think it was 5.
I mean, it's small, it's colorful, it's a little bite-sized package. It fits the Tide Pod theme.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2014,
And also
people. We're keeping it
may
topical.
well be bad for you. So there
Yeah.
you go.
And learn
Oh my
something.
God,
You all right?
no! I really feel like I thought the coffee would wash it away, and it's like there's
enhancing
laundry
the
detergent
flavor.
in my gums.
Time for the percolator.
It's time for the donut. Hopefully that'll.
Good
Oh,
luck.
this is going to be amazing.
Good luck.
What
just
flavor
hoping it-
donut is that? Is that
Hey,
Cinnamon sugar.
Hey, Rock,
cinnamon?
Yeah.
You were about to say something. Why don't
I
you
was.
talk and let's see how Brian does?
The donut's helping.
I
Cinnamon
learned-
sugar wipes it out.
There's I forget the name for it, but sometimes I get that thing where certain foods
Garbage.
freak out your mouth. Like you're not allergic, but you have some kind of like sensitivity, and there's
Yeah.
a name for it where like your body thinks it's some other thing that you're actually allergic to.
Oh, food allergy syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently roses.
Okay.
My mouth is really weird right now.
That's now. So it did not relax your throat like it was supposed to?
No, and instead it has very much tensed up my mouth.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
So, wow. We have an on-brand thing we do here. Hey, Rock, you taking this to a party?
Yes, because it'll be funny. Because this is delightful. Please try some.
Please try all of these delights. I brought them from distant
Yes,
Turkey.
From Turkey. You've seen that movie. You know the one.
And the other one.
with the Jesus animal.
And
Wow.
so, Mom, you taking this into a party?
No, I am definitely not going to take it to a party because I'm not going to spend any money to buy it.
Fair enough. Mike?
It's rumored that relaxes the throat, Bruce.
That's what I heard, but I have first-hand knowledge that it does quite the opposite.
Is rumored though
Is
that
rumored, though.
relaxes the throat.
Really, the fruit ones weren't that bad. Like the
No.
green ones. It's okay.
The banana was.
I like the banana.
It was alright. I wouldn't say I liked the banana,
can't
I would say
but I
I
found it
like
not unpleasant.
Cannot
I didn't like any of them.
Oh,
Except the center is good. If you took the center out of all of them,
Well, because it's just
you
marshmallow
could
fluff.
just melt it down and put it over stuff. Might be good.
I have no idea how expensive these were, but that would have to be the most expensive way to eat marshmallows.
Absolutely, I agree
I
with you.
don't.
But if somebody was to give you a box of this,
Yeah,
they
you
wouldn't.
could just strip it for parts and just eat the marshmallows out of the
Correct.
middle. Mike, you taking this to a party?
yeah, maybe. Just for fun.
I know, right?
I know. Like,
No.
not to eat for me, because or I might have to just to show people like
That's
get
not
people to do
poisoned.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then and pretend so good. Like, I hope they don't smell the rose bush coming out of my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Just-
then you end up at the end of the party, you're cleaning up after, and you find all these little things stuffed everywhere because nobody wanted to know you didn't eat them.
Well, that's why you take it to a party because it's not your house.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You bring it
It's
to a
not
party.
nice.
You don't
You don't
serve them at
throw
your
a
own.
party. Yeah, no.
Also, I could see you take it out of the box and just put it in the unlabeled tray, and they're just like, oh,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some kind of fruit gummy thing.
But as soon as you get near it, you smell the rose bush.
yeah,
So,
Just the
what is happening?
urge to put it back into my mouth is very strong, and I'm not sure why because I don't like it.
Yeah.
I
and
don't
I'm
like.
allergic to it.
I don't like unfinished food,
Yeah.
and there's a half a rose cheap perfume flavored candy
Yeah.
staring at me, and I don't want to eat it. but I
oh,
wanna eat it.
Bruce just ate some.
I think it's my urge for sweet is what it
Oh.
is.
It's
like,
rumored that
ooh, there's
relaxes the
sugar.
throat.
That's.
Oh.
I heard there is rumor it relaxes the throat. Brian, you taking this to a party?
Is Maureen at this party? Because she would probably be thrilled. Otherwise, no.
That's exclusively it?
Only if Maureen was there to make her day. I brought you Turkish delights. No, they're for you.
Just you.
Oh my god! It tastes so much
Otherwise,
like hotel soap.
No.
I am totally bringing this to a party.
Because we hate people.
Well, I mean, like,
Just to see what they do.
I want to see the reaction to these, and in more than like the big, because it definitely is different than like what the Big Turk tasted like. This is a
Yes.
different experience.
Yeah, well, and I had actual Turkish delights one other time, and they were very different
Yeah.
than these, and very different than tasting the Big Turk, which
So-
was distinctive and memorable.
So
I
nobody.
had Turkish delight that friend
Yeah.
brought from England, and they were good. So I don't know what happened to this box.
Mm. Yeah,
We-
they were not good when I had them, but they were also very different than these. It was
Yeah.
like a harder. They were harder to bite into. They weren't as soft as these. They were not fruit flavored. They were just kind of generically rose water and like a hint of cough drop flavor, and
Nice.
they were red,
Nice.
a color that doesn't exist in any fruit.
Yes.
What the?
Everyone stare at Rocky now.
At one point, you looked like you were going to come to the microphone to say something of some amount of importance, and you backed away while Brian was talking. So I thought I would see what it was you had to say, but I'm going to guess that that's not a thing.
No.
Okay.
I think Brian should pass his donut around so we can all avoid ourselves. from
There's a whole bunch of donuts in the kitchen.
I'm gonna try a banana one.
Oh, well then, let's wait. I was about to close us out, but let's get this. Try the banana. Yeah. How is it? What do you think?
It can't be as bad as the soap.
I mean, it tastes like very fake banana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes like a banana runt,
Yeah.
like fake
Yeah.
banana candy.
Yeah.
But it's
also,
fine.
Yes, it does.
in the background, taunting you is one Rose, being like, "Hey, how did I get in here?"
And you're like, I don't know, Rose.
So that's gonna sit on top of my rose one over here.
Really?
Yeah. Would you like the rest of the banana?
I've eaten so many of these now.
All right, I'll finish this one.
Okay.
They're also
regret it.
super. Like even after like
Not even.
2, I was like, man, I need to
Yeah.
take a break before I get the beatus.
Agreed.
Okay,
But-
now I'm done.
But past all of that, I personally would take it to a party and might try to get more of these for a party that I have where I bring things to them. But yeah. So there you go, folks. If you were wondering, hey, I'm thinking of importing Turkish Delight. I certainly hope we've helped you with that decision.
Yeah, because that's what we're out to do.
Yeah.
If you run an import-export company, we're here for you.
Yeah, we assume we're your first point for advice on how to run your import-export confectionery company.
And we thank you for supporting us on Patreon.
Okay,
Thanks.
fine. Whatever. Just don't. I was setting that up. You just don't ignore it. It's
No,
fine.
no. But
No, we're
it's
going to
fine.
walk all over that.
No,
Nope, we're not even going to acknowledge it.
no, it's fine. It's fine. We didn't get awkward at the beginning. I'm giving it to you at the end instead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize there was a setup, Brian. I apologize.
no,
literally-
there wasn't you stepped all over
It's
whatever
okay,
I
there
was
wasn't.
doing. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
I felt unappreciated.
It wasn't funny to begin with. Don't worry about
I'm
it.
sorry.
It wasn't supposed to be funny, Mike. We had crosstalk. Now there's our laughter.
There you go. There you go. Once again, thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Thank you so much for listening. I've been your moderator, Bruce, joining me.
Stuck in my teeth.
I think it's my turn. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, this is bad.
There was nothing delightful about these big Turks.
These Turks were not delightful.
No.
I think there's a line you just crossed somewhere.
Now, these particular
one.
Turks.
Specifically these Turks.
Turks
These right here?
specifically, the Turks in general are delightful.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as, yeah. Just the ones in this box were not
No.
a
You
delight.
just have to make that
No.
distinction.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Welcome back. Wasn't that just delicious content? It sure was. It is also proof. I think the shows that you're going to listen to are going to sound a little different than me right now. I'm still working on that, but in listening to that show that I just put in to the file, it sounded a little weird and strange. So I'm hoping that the shift between the shows and me is not so bad that it's painful and that it all sounds all right. But please, once again, either feel free to contact me at thepartygamecast@gmail.com, or if you want to, by all means on Instagram at partygamecast, or on Twitter at partygamecast, and just let me know how you feel about this one. Like, just the quality of the audio. The quality of the content is going to be what it's going to be, but the quality of the audio we're trying to work on. Because once again, thanks to Patreon support, we've upgraded a lot of things, but we're still just trying to make it all sound right, quite frankly. Now we're about to jump in to the game that we played for this episode. For the Patreon party in August, You're going to hear it in a second. It is Pictionary Air, which is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I'm so excited for this content to get out to everyone else who listens to the show, because I just think Pictionary Air is such a neat thing. So, I'm not going to get in your way anymore. Let's just jump in to the Patreon party for August. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Patreon party. I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me on the show is Rocky.
Party.
Mom.
Hello.
Mike.
Patreon.
And Brian.
What's up?
Nothing much. How are you, man?
Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, things. Same old, I guess.
Yeah. No new things?
I mean, not really. I mean, nothing I want to get into on air. You know,
Okay.
It's not their business.
I mean, I'm
don't
not-
appreciate you bringing it up.
I mean, I'm not prying. I'm just...
No, it's fine. You know.
I mean, like,
whatever.
if you had something you wanted to share, this would be an appropriate
no.
time.
Why would I?
Yeah.
Party.
Party!
I thought we didn't do that on the What the Food Patreons.
This is not the What the Food Patreon. This is the Patreon party. Yeah, this is the different one where we... this is the bigger one.
So did I just make it awkward by calling it the wrong thing?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, no more awkward than you are making it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll try harder.
Entirely him. I think you were making it awkward too, Bruce.
I was working really hard to make it awkward.
You're awkward.
You're awkward.
You're awkward.
Face is awkward.
This is.
I don't know.
So on this episode, we're going to be talking about Pictionary Air. Or, as Brian noted, it should be called...
Pictionary
Yes.
with an I.
So, Rock,
Yes.
would you like to tell everybody how Pictionary Air works?
I guess I could, if you so desire.
I mean, I would like people to know what we're going to be talking about for the next 15 minutes.
So it's Pictionary.
If you say it's Pictionary in the air, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to flip this table. I swear to you I will.
Please don't. I'm on the other side of the
That's
table.
a
That's going to really hurt.
It's a different podcast.
Pictionary in the space in front of you. Is that better?
Oh.
So you get people to guess what you're drawing.
Draw ink.
Except with a twist. You have an app, and you point your device with said app running at the person, and they have a magic pen. And when they activate that pen, it'll draw in the air in front of them. And that's how you get them to guess. They have to stare at this device instead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they have to stare at you through the device.
Well, yes, but like, there's no eye contact.
No.
That
No.
would be awkward.
That would
Yeah.
be real
Yeah,
awkward.
We don't like
Yeah.
If there's too much eye
Especially
contact,
when you're
it's
drawing
just a
those
little
things.
strange.
Like that's
Yeah.
So you can interact with the things you've drawn, and you could like draw yourself with crazy hair or something if you want.
Wearing a
But
weird
you
top hat.
can't.
No one would do that.
Yeah, no,
No.
that would be ridiculous. And like Pictionary, you can't draw words or numbers or anything.
Yeah, Brian.
I didn't draw words or
No.
numbers.
No, you told me I should.
Well,
I'm
we
trying
were
to
losing
draw
anyway. I was hoping.
Calculator. No,
I was the only
we
one
were-
looking at the screen. They wouldn't have known that you were drawing words and letters.
Oh, okay.
If you draw it on the screen, they
If I
can't
drew
see.
letters, it wouldn't have gotten you to calculator anyway.
Well, we're digressing.
Yes.
Sorry, Rocky.
It's all right. You can also save your fun videos so you can view them later or share them to the intertubes later.
Or you can save your non-fun videos.
Which
Just
Yes,
the
I
boring
guess
ones
if
where
you're-
standing there and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's standing there for 2 minutes staring blankly, terrified at this camera.
which is actually
I don't know what to
pretty
do.
fun.
It's fun.
Also.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how you play a Pictionary Air. What? Am I wrong? Did I say anything
no,
wrong?
You didn't say anything wrong. The only thing I would note is for scoring, you get one card with 5 different things on it. Even if you get all 5 of them, you can't pick up another card. You can get a maximum of 5 points per turn.
Are
you
done.
really can't. You
Yeah.
can't get
No.
5 points.
And you really can't get 5.
Yeah, there's always one thing on the card that's like hard to draw in some way. Like I had one that one of them was the concept of order. How
Well,
do
it
you
was-
draw?
it-
It's
It
order.
was the word order.
Yeah, but how do you? It's a concept. It's not a.
Could you have drawn like a small thing, a medium-sized thing, and a large thing and hope that people realize you put them in order?
That would be the closest. That or like draw a bunch of little neat squares and then some squiggly nonsense, all chaotic, and
Yeah.
Or
then
you
point at the.
Yeah.
draw a laptop like you're placing an order on Amazon or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
That would be really difficult to do when you can't see what you're drawing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That was the one that was, or like one was Captain Jack Sparrow, which maybe you could have drawn some dreads and a goofy hat, but
Also,
that would have gotten you a lot of places.
important thing we learned: you have to point the magic pen at the camera, Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Do not point it at yourself.
Yeah, I got 6-pack abs. So I did what any reasonable human would do, which was I went to draw.
Bruce did not get 6-pack abs.
No, I had I got the clue 6-pack
Bruce's
abs.
card said the words.
Yes.
6-pack abs. So I, like any thinking person would do, tried to draw 6-pack abs on myself as if this magic pen were actually magic.
Yes.
Rather than just being a light source that the screen can see, requiring Rocky to say, "You can't draw on yourself. Point it at the camera."
Yep.
So that's something to note. The other thing, as Brian pointed out, that I think makes this... The things that make this harder than Pictionary, because I think for most of it, it's an easier game than Pictionary, I feel. But one of the things that makes it harder is you can't see what you've drawn. So if you try to add like more stuff to it, you don't really know where you're putting it.
If you pick up the pen, basically, then good luck.
There is a nice feature that the person holding the screen can just erase, so you can just start over. But yeah, if you get halfway through drawing, they're like, I need to go back and add a detail, good luck. It's probably better to just erase it and redraw the whole thing.
So, Mom, how'd you feel about this one?
I thought it was fun. I liked it. I like it better than the regular Pictionary. I'm not a drawer, so I couldn't see what I was doing, and it made me feel better about it.
And this was a good time to point out that if you'd like to see what Mom drew,
Yeah, check it out on all of our social media. I put it on all of our social media at Party Gamecast everywhere.
is it on our Mastodon?
And I didn't put it on our Mastodon because I never gave us a Mastodon.
Profile?
And we didn't put it on Grindr. Mastodon is the new one. If you're like, I like Twitter, but I wish it was more just about the things I like.
What?
I thought it was a metal band.
It may also be a metal
It's
band.
probably also
I thought
that.
they were
Yeah.
extinct.
Yeah, it's like Twitter, but if Twitter's too not ADD enough, I think.
Well, it's
Twitter's
more-
for old people now.
Yeah, and now
Oh.
Mastodon is a thing. I explored it for a little while. You're
Yeah,
in like a part of the, but that's not worth talking about. It's not on our Mastodon or our TikTok, but it is
Okay.
on it is on the big ones. It's on our Facebook, it's on our Instagram, and it is on Twitter,
The Tweety Box.
the Tweety Box, all the
Nice.
places you can see Mom taking 90 seconds to try to give you as many clues as she possibly can. Which is pretty cool. I think that's neat. Now, I want to talk to you, Brian, because specifically you said, hey, this is fun. They took my second least favorite game, and they fused it with my least favorite game.
Yes. So as I've mentioned on the podcast before, charades is my least favorite game ever, probably in the whole world. And Pictionary is a close second. Because at least Pictionary, like I can draw a thing and there's some sort of physical interaction. It's not just me pantomiming.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a combination of both, where you're drawing a picture in the air, but sort of like, unlike Pictionary, I can't see what I'm drawing and build off of it.
Yeah.
And there's some pantomiming involved because half the time you're drawing something and then interacting with it. Like I had to draw Dizzy, so I was trying to draw little swirlies and spirals and things around my head and then make a goofy face like I was Dizzy. And it's two of my least favorite activities. I think this made a fun version of it to the point where I would play this again with the right people.
Yeah.
You know, like me playing Pictionary or charades with people I don't know very well is a nightmare for me.
Okay.
I hate it. And I wouldn't probably find this much more fun
Okay.
other than I could just have fun with the novelty of the pen.
Okay.
But with this group, this was super fun and I would totally play it again because I don't know, it just changed it enough. It made the questions are a little easier, I think, because they know that you can't see what you're drawing and you can't go back and add to it. So I think they made the subjects a little easier than standard Pictionary. Just a little. But we didn't explore the whole deck. But yeah, so it took my second least favorite game, combined a little bit of my my least favorite game, and somehow made something kind of fun.
Yeah. I think another thing to note is the actual physical pen itself just feels right. Like they did a really good job with the device in this game. Like the device makes logical sense. It's got a little button on the top that you use to kind of activate the color so it knows where to go.
Yeah, it's got a nice big broad tip so that you don't have to worry too much as long as you're not pointing it directly at yourself.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's not actually magic.
At almost any angle, the camera can still see it because it's like half of a sphere that glows bright green.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not turning it backwards and hiding it with your hand and drawing on your own stomach for some reason.
As if it was an actual magic pen.
Or as if you were drawing with a Sharpie on your shirt.
Yes.
And we were supposed to figure that out, like you are the easel.
Yeah. So as long as you don't do that, you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, who would though?
Fools. Only fools would do that.
Fools would do that.
Or children, maybe. Fools and children. Another thing to note is the packaging for this is kind of the packaging of mass market game size, like current mass market game size, where it's about maybe 12 inches, 14 inches tall, and about 8 inches wide. And it shows in a window this giant chunky pen. But when you actually open the game up, there's a hidden box hiding in part of the big box you see, where it has a place for the pen to go. So it's the size of a game that you'd expect to cost $20 at Target, but when you actually own it, it's a much smaller box. So they actually did a neat thing where it has the shelf presence that companies believe a game needs to have to be worthy of a certain price, but when you actually open it and own it, it takes up significantly less space. So I just thought that was kind of a neat thing to note. This thing here, I have a deck of cards. It's about 3.5 decks of cards across and about 3 decks of cards high.
He's actually measuring it with a deck
I'm
of
actually
cards.
measuring it with decks of cards.
Which,
Yeah, I mean, it's-
knowing Bruce is a kind of thing one would expect him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's about as you could stack. It's like as long and tall, or as deep and tall as a stack of cards, and like 10 inches long.
Yeah.
You know, so it's small.
It's-
Yeah, because that was the first thing I asked when I saw it. Is like, that's not the retail box. That looks like an insert for another game.
Yep.
But yeah, it's nice and small and nice size for like the modern gamer who will bring a sack of games to a party or something and doesn't want 15 Monopoly-sized boxes in a, big bag or something.
Definitely. Also, a thing to note is that you need an app to play this, so you have to download the Pictionary Air app so that you can actually point it at the person that has the light pen. Also, we haven't done it yet, but if you have Google Chrome, or not, I can't believe I said it that way. If you have a Chromecast,
Yeah.
you can
Screencast.
Yeah, okay, is that what it is? It's just casting.
casting.
Or cast, yeah, you can
Because that's
cast
like the
it.
only one of those over the top things I don't own is the Chromecast.
Well, at this point, that's the only thing Chromecast is good for anymore.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can use it to Chromecast to your TV, or if you're in the Apple environment, you can AirPlay it to your TV. So if you happen to have the Apple TV,
Or if you have a Samsung TV and a Samsung phone, you
Yep.
can screen. If you have a phone or a device that pairs with your smart TV in some way,
Yep.
then you can just throw one of those up because there's no way to sync. It's not like everyone has the app and everyone's synced together. There's one device that has the app that has to be shared among everyone. So you can do it on a phone, but it'll be 3 people huddled around a phone.
yeah.
So yeah, if you have a way to cast it to a TV, or if one of you has a tablet, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Is share that.
Or if you're doing it this like at an event, like a convention or something,
Oh, yeah.
doing it onto a TV or a giant screen would be a super cool way to present this game.
Yeah, if you could project it up onto something large, or
Yeah.
or have a big TV behind you or something.
So, Mike, what are your feelings about this? Because I know you're not the biggest drawing game fan. You're not the biggest charades fan. Just like Brian, they may not be your least favorite games, but they sure as hell aren't your favorite games.
Yeah, I do not like this. I can't draw to begin with. And there are some games that involve drawing that are more forgiving for that. I still love telestrations.
Yep.
Drawing is an integral part of telestrations. But because of the way it works, you don't necessarily have to be able to draw well to still have fun playing the game.
Absolutely. It's one of the keys of
you
that game.
just fail over and over, and it's even harder because even people who can draw, it's difficult when you can't see what you're drawing. So, like, if you can't draw and you can't see what you're drawing, you're just going to fail over and over again, and there's really not a lot of fun to be had there. You can look at the words you're given and go, oh, there's no way. And even, I think, expert drawers are going to have problems with at least one of the words on every card, because one of them is probably, I think, meant to be over the top and ridiculously difficult. But some cards are definitely way, way harder than others. I mean, one of the cards I got, oval. Well, I could draw oval.
Yeah, and you drew the heck out of an oval.
Yeah, Rocky got square on one of her.
Yeah, Rocky got square.
It was great.
And I could manage music because I can just draw a couple of musical notes, which I did, and okay, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that was nothing. Like, desert was rough. When you can't see anything, it's real hard to draw a desert without, lifting the pen and seeing what's going on and everything like that. And order is just impossible. Calculator was difficult enough when you can't see what you're drawing.
Sorry to chime in, but another thing that made it that we particularly noticed because we were on a team together was holding the pad still. Because if you're trying to draw a big thing and making big sweeping motions, when you draw with the light pen, it's not like it remembers and shifts it so that you've created an augmented reality thing where it's hovering in the air. It just sticks it on wherever the pad is at that time.
Right.
So if you're moving the pad a little bit, if you're holding it not steady and it kind of shifts a little bit, then what the person drawing does won't line up anymore because it's fixed on the screen. So like you could draw something and then I could shift the pad 10 degrees to the left.
It's like someone was holding the pad of paper or the easel that you were using in Pictionary and moving it around as you're drawing on it, but you couldn't see them moving it around.
Yeah, and a little bit of wiggling or wobbling is fine, but like you want to try to hold it steady because we had that problem where Mike was drawing like up near his face to start something, and that for me the way I was holding the pad, that was right at the very edge of the pad, so he drew something a little off the pad that I didn't even see, and then I shifted the pad to try to compensate, but then that shifted where he was drawing, so he was drawing on top of himself and didn't know it, and things to keep in mind is give the pad to someone with a steady hand or try to draw in the middle.
Or see if you can kind of mount it to something.
Or put it on a stand or something.
Yeah.
If you really want to play this, play Pictionary. Like, it's nice tech. It's cute. It's a good idea, and it's a good use of tech, but it just doesn't work. Like,
this is a place where I fundamentally, in every way, disagree with you. I think
that is shocking.
I mean,
Chris.
I think it definitely works.
How out of character for
No,
this podcast.
I mean, it doesn't work in the sense. I mean, it functions, but it doesn't work as a game very well. I think it forces you to do things. First of all, there's a lot more miming than I think there should be in Pictionary.
I mean, but this is not Pictionary. This is Pictionary Air. This is a different game, and in this game, those rules are changed.
Like I said, there's more miming than I think should be in Pictionary, any Pictionary, because the whole point of it is pictures. It's in the name. And so doing charades with it just doesn't work.
I think knocking this game because you think the title of it doesn't line up is a rough knock on something like this.
It's not like someone came up with a game and then put a title on it and it just didn't quite line up. This is a long line of games that has for decades now been all about drawing and getting people to guess what you draw. And you're not allowed to gesture in any of those games. Like, there are a lot of rules. Like, you don't gesture, you don't put letters, numbers, that kind of thing. But in this one, you kind of have to. And it's...
So if I draw magic pen on this box, are you suddenly okay with it?
I still don't like the game, but I think it's more accurate to the game. Like...
Well, I don't know. I thought the game was great. I enjoyed it, and I think it's fun. It's a little bit different than Pictionary, and I like this version better.
So then, what makes it so that you like this version better? What is doing that for you?
Standing up, drawing with the pen, and doing the charades. I think it's fun.
So, Rock, you went to professional guessing school.
I did.
And
Yes.
I think you also went to professional drawing school, didn't you?
In fact, I did.
Well, you
yeah.
actually did that.
Yeah. Those are things you've actually done in your life.
Yeah, one of them cost way more than the other.
I understand.
Yeah, guessing school's real expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are your general thoughts on this?
I enjoyed it a lot. I think a lot of the humor is, what the heck did you just draw? I have no idea what you just drew. Well, I did a thing. Well, no, you didn't. And I thought that was very entertaining. I liked that, and I didn't figure it out the first time I had a turn, was interacting with the image more, or using yourself as a base for what you're drawing. And I thought that was an interesting spin. It reminds me, of course, I guess the fundamental guessing part is different, but like on Whose Line Is It Anyway, where one of them's in front of a green screen and they're trying to give them clues, and they're like, as soon as they start figuring out what's happening, they go, oh no, like they're interacting with something that isn't there.
Yeah.
And I find that entertaining, and I enjoyed it.
So then I will ask you another question, Mike, because we've established that you don't like the action of being the person with the pen, and I completely get it. Did you have fun guessing at the things you were guessing at, or was just this whole thing...
No, I don't think the game is good. I don't think it is a good game. I think it can be entertaining to watch someone play it because of how frustrating and it is and how the silly things that they do.
Yeah.
But that's an activity that isn't really a game, and it's not really something you can even participate in, unlike other activities that are not games.
See, but
Like-
you're making it sound like no one guessed anything, and a lot of people
I'm
guessed a lot of things.
Not saying that at all. I was
It
actually
sounded
saying
like
that
it.
I literally said that if you're not playing and watching someone.
No,
So
but I meant like your argument in general.
no, I mean you can guess some, but it's ridiculously difficult, and the ones that you will guess are either ones that can be assisted heavily by miming or are ridiculously easy like oval and square.
Also, you had me as a partner, so guessing my stuff probably was hard.
Well, guessing it, and you
I'm
had
sorry.
me, and I can't draw anything. So
I guessed more yours than you guessed to mine.
I had oval.
And I was able
Yeah,
to
and that
guess
still
some
took
of both
it
of
took me
yours.
3 tries to get oval, and you had to draw it a second time.
So there is a possibility that just the level of play may have been a bit different, and that
Well,
would
our
explain the 14-4 score at the end.
Yeah, we put the 2 grumps on one team,
Yeah.
so you know,
That may have changed things up a little bit.
yeah.
It's
But it
not
was
just
3
about
on
being
2.
grumpy, like because
Oh, no.
I love Telestrations. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite games, and that is a game that is as drawing as part of it. It's an activity where it's fun to play, but this one just didn't seem that entertaining to me. I think part of it is because unlike Telestrations, it forces you've got yes or no. You're trying to get someone to an answer. Period.
Yes.
There's right and there's wrong.
Yes.
Telestrations, there isn't that.
No.
And see, for me, I guess this is where I split with you because I see where you're coming from. But for me, I took it maybe because I knew that I don't like Pictionary, so I had to find a different way of enjoying it. But where my brain went with it, and the reason I liked it is I sort of took it as a Telestrations, where I didn't know till the last round that we were losing horribly. I could have guessed that we weren't winning, but I didn't know it was 4-11.
I guessed that before we started.
Oh, I figured we were going to lose, but
Yeah.
I just had fun with the journey, not the destination, basically, which is what to me Telestrations is. I don't care who gets it right. It's just fun watching it happen. And in that respect, which, as you pointed out, takes it away from being a game as much as more of an activity. But I consider Telestrations a fun party game, even though it's not really a game. And I put this as nudging into that space of, because it's fun, because the game knows that since you can't see what you're doing, you're
Mhm.
going to get goofy mishaps and wacky mistakes and stuff.
But they're not all goofy mishaps.
They're not.
They're just like illegible scribbles that people are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you get goofy mishaps and wacky stuff with like reverse charades where you're watching people act this stuff out and you're like, oh wow, is that did she just point to her underwear? Did she just pull her underwear? Because we actually had that
Yeah.
happen at one point. Like it was just pulling someone's underwear up and showing and pointing to it. But that's a sort of wacky kind of fun thing where I don't like charades either, but reverse charades was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But this, it's just confusion a lot of the time, and it's like, I don't, it's another thing that looks kind of like sausage. Like, I don't know.
I think you and I are going to end up as Siskel and Ebert on this, because I was actually going to say I put this in the same place as a reverse charades, where
Yeah.
I think this turns the drawing game on its side enough that I like this more than any other like Pictionary variant that's come out. And what I like about it is the charades and the things that make it not Pictionary, like I think are the things I enjoy about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say whether I like this more or less than other Pictionary games because I don't like Pictionary.
And I totally get that.
Because it's a game that entirely relies on you being able to draw well enough to get a message across.
Yes.
And if you don't, you just fail. And there's not a lot of fun to be had there.
To me, there's a lot more fun to be had in this box in failing. In failing and in watching others fail, I never felt like, and clearly your experience was different, I never felt like I was so bad off that it was like upsetting me. And in some of these games, I'll get that way to where I just get frustrated with what's going on. With this, I never felt like, because the device I'm using is so weird, the fact that I can't see it, everybody already knows. So I feel like so many things are taken out of my hands that I don't feel personally responsible if I can't get the point across, because I'm like, well, I have a light pen, I can't see the screen, and you're bobbing the iPad around. I don't know how I'm really supposed to do this. Like, and in that, rather than finding frustration, which I understand is what you found, I was like, okay, well, that just takes so much of the requirement to be good off of my shoulders that it made it a lot more fun for me.
I completely agree, because those are the things that I hate about Pictionary.
Yep.
Is the like drawing something, realizing it's terrible, having to try to fix it, having it stuck on the easel, or whatever. Whereas this, I was thinking it just as you were saying, like before you're saying it takes all that away from you, because it's not my fault that the drawing in the air with a light pen and viewing it through a slightly wobbly iPad means that my drawing's not perfect. But my drawing was never going to be. It's not like it took my wonderful drawing and messed it up, and I have to blame the game for denying me the ability to make a very clear drawing of the concept of order or whatever. This is dignity. How can you not tell? But like...
Ennui.
But like, so I know that my drawing's going to be bad and terrible, and in a medium where it almost like it pulls other people down to my level, which makes it more fair for me a little. But it also gives me that like, well, what do you expect from me? I'm drawing with a invisible ink in the air and I can't see what I'm drawing, So I totally agree. Like for me, that's what takes away some of that anxiety that comes up for Pictionary with me is, I know I'm going to draw something bad, so why even try, oh God, deer in the headlights? And then I stand there for 90 seconds looking scared and everyone laughs at me. And then I go home and cry. Yeah. And, that's why I don't like Pictionary.
As one does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Well, that's what happens in my head. And, so that's why I don't like Pictionary. But this takes all that away. It's still not my favorite game. It's certainly my favorite version of Pictionary. And I think, like you said, it kind of does what Reverse Charades does. Not as much as Reverse Charades, which literally took my least favorite activity ever and made it like one of my top 10 favorite games. But it messes with Pictionary just enough that it makes it fun. Like, I wouldn't want to play this a lot, but if we play it occasionally, like a couple rounds, if we play this all night, I'm going to get real tired of it after about 2 rounds.
I can see that.
But yeah, if we played occasionally, a couple rounds here and there, I would totally play this again because I know it's going to be wacky fun. Like I said, I can focus on the telestration side of it's the experience, not the score. Yeah. And so I don't care. And it's just fun for me to do wacky stuff. But I understand that Mike has a different approach, and listeners probably will fall into different categories too. But for me, that's definitely how I can enjoy it, is just have fun with the journey.
Very good. Well, then let's do the thing we always do. Would you take it to a party, Rock?
Yes, if I had a way of getting it on a big screen or if I brought a tablet.
Okay. Mom?
Yes, and I agree with Rocky. I think you need a tablet or a screen. But it was fun.
And the good news is, like I said, everything kind of set up to get it to a screen if you have all of that tech around you. Mike, I know the answer, but I'm still going to ask you. You taking it to a party?
No. Any other questions?
No. Brian?
Probably. I think so, with the caveat of taking a tablet or some way to screen share, which is pretty common now. But yeah, probably just for the novelty. I'd give it a shot.
Fair enough. And I think, for me, like I said, I think this might do for Pictionary what Reverse Charades did for Charades for me. Is this now makes it a whole lot of fun, and if there's a place where I have a ton of tech around where I can make this work, I think I'm going to start bringing this places. I think I want to mix this with those like adult game packs so that the things you're drawing are significantly more adult than they are in this version. Like, I think there's a lot of fun to be had here.
Sausage.
Yeah, we didn't.
No, not at all.
We didn't mention that, but we thought of that while we were playing. Was like take a Cards Against Humanity, maybe, but. My personal thought was Telestrations After Dark, because you got 6 items on that card, which lines up pretty closely with the 5 in Pictionary. But any of those games that have naughtier cards, you could just throw Codenames After Dark cards at people. Yeah, draw this, catch.
And plus, there is something I really do like, and I understand that it's a marketing move, and I get it. But the idea that I can save the movie of doing the round and save the video and then put the video out, I think is a lot of fun. Because you're going to have those times where you're like, that was ridiculous. We've got to show that to people and let them guess from wherever they are on Twitter.
Now, I didn't look. Does the app offer to auto share it for you and tag it with corporate nonsense? Or is it just, here's a video file, do what you want with it?
It is a mix. It is a video file, but in the bottom right corner, they've put a Pictionary Air logo.
Well, that's fine. But I wasn't sure if it had auto tweet and it adds hashtags and auto tags to Hasbro or whoever owns this.
This, I believe, is Mattel. Okay. So what I didn't do was I just said, let me download the video. I didn't ask for the auto share stuff, so I could go share it. So it at least gives you that option. I didn't look at probably also as an auto share where there's 17 different hashtags on it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but as long as it gives you the option to do like here's your file, do what you want with it.
It gives you the option to here's your file, and every single individual social media was like, are you really sure you want to put 90 seconds worth of anything up? And I was like, yes, I do, because I want you to see all of Mom's turn. But they also could have let me edit it down. So other than putting their bug in the corner, which I think is
makes
fair,
sense. Yeah,
they
a little watermark, that's fine.
Exactly, that's perfectly all right. So there you go, Patreon backers. Thank you so much for backing the show. We do sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you're hearing this a month and a half later, thanks for listening to the show. We have a Patreon.
Happy Thanksgiving-ish.
Happy Thanksgiving-ish. you could go check that out.
Merry holidays.
Well, thank you so much for listening. I've been Bruce.
It's a sausage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's Mom. Bye.
Good night, folks.
It's a circle, right?
It's an oval.
I
an oval.
think it's an oval.
Ovaltine?
No, just an oval.
Oh.
No, just
I didn't bring my decoder ring.
Oh. And
Should have gone to guessing school.
oh, apparently it was the cheap school. And thank you so much for listening.
And welcome back to the very end of the show. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, it all sounds a little weird to me, so let me know how this sounds when it's all done. We are still working. We are still getting it better. We're trying to get it as close to awesome quality as we possibly can. We thank all of our Patreon backers for helping us with that. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with our November episode, and then later in November, at the very end, on American Thanksgiving, we are doing a Thanksgiving episode again. If you are a Patreon backer, you got to vote on the game that we play on that episode. I'm going to leave it a secret until we get there, but we eat a whole bunch of food, and we play just kind of one of those classic games that we try to play every Thanksgiving when we do a Thanksgiving show, which has been most, but not all, Thanksgivings. So once again, thank you so much for listening. For those of you that support, thank you so much for supporting. Remember, we are doing Extra Life. If you'd like to help us out to help the Children's Miracle Network, check the show notes. If not, go to extra-life.org. Look for the 3 Gears Party Gamecast, Break My Game team, or, just show up at 3 Gear Games in Savage Mill, Maryland on the 2nd of November. We would love to see you. We thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to our show. Thank you so much. And once again, this is a thing. This is our mid-month cavalcade. This is what we do. Thanks for listening.